There we are. There we are. Oh, you want me to bump first? Normally, I'm used to the whole Brian like. Good.
We have this conversation.
We can throw. All right, ready? Here we go. I'm gonna do my best Brian impersonation.
Right. Let's channel some Brian
impersonation. Tonight on System.Debug, we're gonna talk about Dreamforce 18, Dreamforce Preparedness on System.Debug. Live! Yeah, live. He's always hyped up on like 18 cups.
I'm just overriding it. I'm just like, okay, great. That's the beauty of owning the bump.
Yeah, you just. I'm done with this. Boom. Yeah, he's always hopped up on like 18 cups of coffee. He knows I make fun of him about this, so I'm not talking behind his back. I know this is a very secret.
He's probably actually watching.
He's watching. I know.
Your eyes got a little scary there, man. Like there's like popping out of your head.
He's always so hyped up. I'm so the opposite of him. I'm very like, oh god, I just want to sleep all day, and he's just like, it's time to do everything.
You don't have
40 hours a day.
Live with RJ is like a mindfulness session. Just like think about your day. Push away the negative. I'm gonna have you record a mindfulness walkthrough session for me because it's a very calming effect. Where like Brian would be interesting on one of those. You know, like, hey, relax, everything's okay.
According to Brian, you can just listen to my 6-minute Salesforce, and he's like, it's like you're making love to the Salesforce org, and I'm like. Okay. He's like, yeah, you're just so like, you just have that thing that you do with your voice, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, but okay, cool,
it's just very calm.
I'll take it.
He goes on these tangents that uniquely describe situations in just a way only Brian can.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Why we love him.
That is.
I do love Brian.
Clearly, none of us can fill those shoes. Right? AKA Oprah. Clearly, none of us can fill his shoes, right? So, but to that end,
yes.
To that end,
yes.
RJ was
Dreamforce.
Yes, RJ had an idea, but then he wouldn't tell us all weekend, and now we've kind of made other plans, and so RJ will have to tell you his idea next time because tonight we're talking about Dreamforce tips and Dreamforce preparedness. So. Let's see. Dreamforce is September 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th in downtown San Francisco. Just in case you didn't know, or if it's your first one, it's always there. It's always uber crowded, like 190,000 people probably expected. I don't know if that's an official number. I just saw somebody talking about it, but it's a huge number of people. And so we are going to... Oh, yes. So, yeah,
Don't forget Metallica.
Every year they have a big gala, a big music party, whatever, and Metallica is headlining this year. I think it's their second or third time? I don't know. Second.
CF11 all over again, man. You gotta re-over.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to offer you some tips this time around. But first, RJ wants to tell you that Megan has some sessions.
Yeah, I do. So we're super pumped over here at System.Debug because Megan is out there and she's crushing it. So we were talking about this earlier real quick. I just want to kind of put it in context. And she's like, hey, I have a session, right? So we're thinking about it. Okay, cool. That's awesome. You have a session. We're super pumped that she has a session, right? It turns out that she has 3 sessions on the exact same day. So she's like out there, not just like normal out there. She's way the heck out there. So she's got 3. Count them 3 sessions on Thursday. Number 1, decoding developers, level up your admin career. That's at from 9 to 9:40.
It's gonna be awesome.
Dude,
that one, by
awesome,
the way,
actually.
That's a repeat of the session from last year that I had with Leslie Guesthouse and Gina Malones. It was on the dev track, and we've switched over to the admin track this year.
Nice.
And it's a bunch of trips about development and starting your dev career and working with developers, and just experience of having worked as a developer, having worked as an architect, and just working on your communication, progressing your career, and deciding to take different journeys. It was an awesome session. We had a lot of people there. So that is going to be a super good one to attend, whether you're an admin or a dev, even though it's on the admin track. So I just really wanted to point that out, even though it's how to level up your admin career. Sorry, continue on.
That's great. Is that the one that had the slide last year with Talk Nerdy to Me?
Yes, that is the Talk Nerdy to Me session.
Y'all need to turn that into a t-shirt, just saying. And I was at that session, and I had to stand in back.
The door guy.
Oh, yeah, I was the door guy. Okay, so here's the thing, too. When you're at a session, and particularly these breakout sessions, the 40-minute ones, you're in an actual room. And if you decide it's not for you, it's cool to get up and walk out. But when you do, make sure you don't let that door slam. So I was back there the whole time. Like somebody would walk out and boom, or somebody would walk in because they were late and they'd let that door slam. So just beware of that one. That's a tip that I didn't write down. That's just from the cuff. So
off the cuff. Yeah, that's a loud door, by the way.
It is.
It startles the heck. The first time it shuts, it startles the heck out of everybody. The second time, not so much, but still, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, so number 2, deliver personalized content with CMS and audience targeting on Community Cloud. It's a mouthful, but I will have you know that Megan is a community freaking pro, so she knows what she's talking about. Every time I have a question about community, I go directly to Megan, and she has an answer within 5 minutes. That's at 2:30 to 3:10. And then I'll let Megan talk about that.
So this session is super cool. This one is about the CMS Connect functionality, as well as the new native CMS that's coming out in the Winter 19 release, which, by the way, your sandboxes were upgraded this past weekend. Go and check out what broke, what's new, everything that's out there. There's tons of stuff. And it's really cool if you haven't used CMS Connect. It's great functionality that lets you connect to outside content without having to build full integration. So come to that one. I'm presenting with some of the people from Salesforce at that presentation, learn about how you can connect to those outside systems, find out about some real life use cases for each of those, and come and see some of that new functionality fully built out and how you can actually use it. Now this next one's pretty cool, by the way. So I was kind of thrown into this one by one of the, hopefully he's listening, Thomas from the Community Cloud team. And I'm going to be with Nathan Pepper on this one as well. So we're kind of add-ons to the session, so go for it.
Nice. So this one's design a pixel perfect user experience, or design pixel perfect user experiences, I should say, with Community Cloud, which sounds amazing actually, because I'm assuming this gets a little bit into like UI UX maybe, but it's 4:15 to 4:35, so it's kind of a shorter session, but still probably extremely interesting. I would love to see that. Before you talk about this one, I want to know, are any of these going to be online afterwards?
Yeah, so for sure, I know that the very first session, Decoding Developers, will be. I'm assuming that the other two will as well. So yeah, at least one of them will be.
Nice, because we have some people, Mark Adcock says, I have to miss that, but I wanted to see it about the first one. So Mark Adcock, you will be able to see that just with a little bit of a delay on it.
Yeah, they usually record as many sessions. I think they pretty much record all the breakouts.
I think they record almost everything. Yeah.
So what's this one about then?
But this custom themes and custom layouts and communities, and we're going to be showing off some actual dev work on this one, and kind of going toe to toe. So definitely something to go and see. I don't know if you guys have met Nathan Pepper. May the S-Force be with you. But he is definitely a character in the Salesforce community. And we've been told when you get the two of us together, it's definitely a good time and a show to see. So try and come in and catch us at that as well. That'll be a good time.
Bringing you knowledge and entertainment. How do you like that?
Boom.
It's like a one-stop shop of awesome. So.
Yeah,
dude, that's
absolutely.
that's a lot of stuff. That really is. I hope you nail all three of them. I'm almost certain that you will, unless you just get too tired because you've done a ridiculous amount of work that day. I don't know how you're going to get to do anything on Thursday besides your talks, pretty much.
I think that's what Thursday's going to be, and
The
Wednesday's
whole
going to
day
be an
Thursday.
early bedtime.
Nice.
Yeah. I do have a little bit of time that I'm spending with Ladies Be Architects on Thursday as well.
Oh, boy.
And then Friday with some nonprofit and community cloud stuff, working with your people, Ryan, salesforce.org on Friday. So it'll be a good time doing that as well.
I'm super excited. I'm super excited. The sad thing is I have to leave on Friday. This is my first stream where I have to cut it short. It's my first one as an employee. And so, yeah, I've got other things that have to happen, so I got to cut it short. But I have a question. Will you be posing for selfies afterwards?
Me?
Yeah. And sessions will be cool. Free for selfies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There we go. Because I
I'm not
didn't
going to be there. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna
selfies all the
post
time.
selfies.
Yeah. I'll do selfies.
We can provide a picture of RJ so he can selfie with us too, since the rest of the team will be there. Yeah, we could even do that. You know, I believe at Midwest Dreamin', it's out there on Twitter somewhere. Midwest Dreamin', not this past year, but the year before, I couldn't make it, but Megan and Brian were there, or was it Southwest? That might have been Southwest Dreamin'.
Southwest.
No, you weren't there either. That's what it was. You were still somewhere else. I was somewhere else, but Brian and Randy, I think, were there. And they posed together with a picture of me and a picture of you pointing at each other to do like the world's first virtual selfie.
Yes.
That's cool.
Also, what was it? Last year, Randy actually took me to Midwest Dreaming, and there's like a whole like moment on Twitter put together where she had my face cut out and put onto like a little rubber guy body, and had all of these like pictures of me taken with like all the different speakers. And I got my picture with Doug Ayers. I got my picture with Brian, like tons of different people. And so I had all these selfies. And Randy was just so awesome for being able to take me because I got stuck at an on-site or with a deployment. And she like saved the day because I wasn't able to go. It was awesome. She is like a super community rock star. Well, not community rock star for me that day. So thank you, Randy. That was awesome.
I believe
in the Midwest Dreamin'. She is, yeah. Yes. I was saying hi. Oh, and I'm looking at the like, hi, Randy.
Yep, Randy is definitely in the chat. So 2 questions, right? Number 1, Ryan, where will you be during this Dreamforce? Are you going to be working a booth or what?
Yeah, so on Tuesday afternoon, I think, I will be in the developer forest at the Salesforce.org CCI MetaCI booth.
Whoa.
Where I will be right now. That's always subject to change. Wednesday, I will be, I believe the majority of the Salesforce.org stuff is at the Westin Hotel. So that's actually one of the tips I have, but we'll hit later. So I will be there most of the day at the K-12 higher education booth. And then, I don't know, I'll be somewhere else on Thursday for another event, but I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, but I'll be floating around, but I'll be mainly in staff mode that entire week. So, but feel free to come say hi. I love selfies. I love to talk, all that stuff. But I will be there, and I'm looking forward to it. This will be, I think, my 6th Dreamforce, but my 4th unique experience, because you go in the first time and you're wide-eyed and you're just not there yet. And then the second year I went in, is when I wrote that song, and I had to open for Erica Cool's keynote with it. So I was kind of thrust in the community. And then the year after that, it was an MVP, and now I get to go like as an employee. So I'm really excited to see what it's like, quote unquote, behind the curtain. So this will be interesting for me, but totally looking forward to it.
Nice. So second question. Oh, sorry, Megan, go ahead.
Are we going to be having system.debug stickers for these selfies, by the way?
It's a great question. I have no idea. Yes, we will. We'll make it happen. Okay. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
All right. What was your second question, RJ?
My second question, right? I haven't been to a Dreamforce in I guess 2 years, right? Something like that. Mm-hmm. So for me and for all the new people out there, who are just going to their very first Dreamforce, right? So people who haven't been and people who haven't been in a while, what would you guys say to those people? Like, what kind of advice would you give them? Because I know there's a lot of stuff to do. There's an incredible amount of stuff to do. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can go to different booths and pick up. Lots of free stuff, T-shirts, all that kind of stuff. There's usually kind of like a little show. There's a whole bunch of after parties. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. What would you guys hit and why?
Oh, that's a good question, because I was never a swag hunter. Mainly just because most of the time when I went, I overpacked and I just wouldn't have enough room to throw all the crap that you can possibly get in there. But I did make a couple of booth stops for, like sometimes I think one year they gave away a Tesla. So keep an eye out for the big, giveaways and go sign up there. They're going to scan your badge and you're going to get email. Just know that. But that's cool because you're kind of there to learn about the products and how you can move your org forward anyway. And a lot of those vendors there can do that for you. They just happen to offer like some really cool opportunities to go away with a car, or, one year they were giving away those, what do they call them? Hoverboards, like those, there was a couple of vendors giving those things away. I'm sure you'll see probably a bunch of quadcopter type stuff. What do you call them? Drones. I'm sure you'll see a bunch of stuff like that. Those are rare and few and far and in between. A lot of stuff is usually like keychains, stuffed animals, T-shirts, whatever. So, but definitely, this kind of leads to some of the tips that we're talking about. Is there's a lot at Dreamforce. There's there's thousands of sessions. I think it's like 2,500 sessions or something. It's just crazy amount of sessions. Don't quote me because I don't have the number, but there's a ton of sessions. Don't fill your schedule tip to top, bow to stern with sessions. Take some time out, check out the vendor area. There's usually cool stuff there. Check out Moscone West. That's the developer center. And, we're very developer centric here at System.Debug, but check it out because, if they have the same kind of stuff that they had at Trailhead DX last year, you might get to see this huge automated Lego town, right? And it's, Internet of Things with Charlie Isaacs will be there, right? And so definitely take your time to check that stuff out. Now we have questions like, how early should you leave? I'm not sure what we mean. How early should we leave? But that might be something else going on.
Concert leave.
Oh, for that, yeah. We'll get to the concert in a minute. But yeah, just don't overbook your schedule. And if you miss something, that's okay. They're recorded. So if you get to the point you're just burned out that first day or the second day, and you're just tired because you walk everywhere, so bring comfortable shoes. Go ahead and skip something. If you have to, you can always get that content later. Some of the content is actually repeated, so maybe you can plan accordingly and find that. So, yeah, that's what I would say about getting swag. Now, what to visit if it's your first time? Definitely check out the gala. I mean, it's I try to avoid saying like, hey, it's a big party, but I mean, they're bringing in Metallica and they're bringing them in for you, right? And take advantage of that because, where else do you generally, get the chance to see Metallica? If they're not your thing, that's okay. There's plenty of other things to do there. Go ahead, Megan.
And still go. I mean, even if it's not a concert that you would go to, I mean, that's one of the things about Dreamforce. It's not a show you would go to. You're not buying tickets. I mean, that's one thing about Metallica. I mean, how much would it cost you to go to a Metallica concert usually? Mm-hmm. And it's not going to the show and sitting there and watching the concert. Just stop in, experience it for a little bit, and walk by. So, and also your first Dreamforce, just be prepared for the fact that concert is very crowded. And when you get there, don't try to Uber there. It's a horrible, horrible idea for everybody to try to get an Uber. Yeah. It happened once where everybody, what concert was that? It was like one of the years, U2 year or something like that, where everybody tried to Uber, and it was just a huge congestion. It's okay to walk. It's okay to try further away. Get there a little bit late, leave a little bit early. Try to give yourself that buffer so that you're not leaving with the crowds. If that's what you're concerned about is timing or being in a congested area. If you're going at the exact time that it starts and the exact time it ends, that's where you're going to hit the most traffic. So, Common sense. Keep that in mind.
What I'm hearing here is, number one, keep some comfy shoes around for when you're doing your thing, walking around and stuff like that. Dress professionally-ish, but comfortable for the most part, right? Network as much as you can, which I think is pretty good anywhere you go. It's pretty solid advice anywhere that you're going to go, that you're going to have a lot of people that you don't know. So keep your networking channels kind of open, talk to people, be nice to people. You know, obviously you wouldn't want to go around trying to be mean. That would be a weird way to network. Make sure that you walk to the concert. So you don't want to try Ubers because you're probably going to get a terrible multiplier on that thing, and it's going to cost you a fortune, and you're going to be in traffic, so it's not even worth it. It's San Fran, right? It's still at Moscone this year?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, San Fran's built for walking. I lived there for a year. It's an amazing city to walk around, just like New York City. Amazing cities to walk around are that's what they're there for. So go walk around, walk to the pier. It's really nice out there. Just walk around the town and just kind of soak it all in. And then finally bring an empty suitcase for all your swag. Right? Or is this
bring an extra bag?
Bring an extra bed? Did you say bed?
A bag.
Oh, bag. I was like, are you sleeping on the street or what's
Hey man, you might. You might. You can have some late nights walking around.
The cost of hotels, man. One thing to also keep in mind, you mentioned dressing professionally. There's no reason to wear a suit and dress shoes. You know, the comfy shoes, keep that in mind. Comfy shoes. You can wear, nice, decently nice clothes with a pair of sneakers. That's totally fine. Or my go-to, a pair of flip-flops. I'm always in my flip-flops. But there's no reason to wear like a suit and a really fancy dress. People are going to be pretty casually dressed. So, don't bring a bunch of stuff that you're going to have to iron and take for dry cleaning. Because you are going to be walking a lot. You're going to be running around a lot. It's going to get pretty uncomfortable. And inside some of the session rooms, it gets really hot. So you're going to be taking that jacket off and on a lot. So
yeah,
and you're going to switch to your Trailblazer or hoodie pretty soon anyway. And you wear the same thing as everyone else to blend in.
Layers is always good. Definitely.
Layers.
Just to clarify, when I was talking about walking around before, safety in numbers. So if you don't feel safe walking around, if you're going to walk around at night, just go grab somebody that you're friends with and see if they want to walk around. Like I said, it's a great city. It's a great time of year to be there. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. So you're going to want to walk around. You're going to want to see some stuff. And like even me, I'm not the most docile looking dude. I have a bazillion tattoos, and I still walked around a couple of years ago with my buddy Ben Bagley. We just we were like, hey, let's go, walk up a bunch of really, really steep hills. Cool. And we just went around together. So, and it's more fun together, right? So just be aware of that kind of stuff, right? Walk in numbers or just safety numbers in general. So another thing I want to ask you guys, what about all the cool stuff that there is to do tech-wise, all the trails, all that kind of stuff? Like what's going on as far as that stuff is concerned? Do you guys know?
I don't have any details, but we can talk about like what was at Trailhead DX and what we've seen in the past. When I was at DX this past year, they had a really cool virtual reality, and I think it's been to Dreamforce a few times too. Really cool virtual reality demo. I would totally take some time out to do that. All of that cool stuff like that, most of that's going to be in Moscone West and like the developer forest, the admin forest, stuff like that. There's usually an area where you can go and kind of do some hands-on coding and do what they call quests. So they'll give you a little booklet, and then you'll go around and you perform all these little tasks and get a stamp. And when you're done, you go to the what they call the trading post, and they'll scan your badge, and they'll, if you've gotten all the right scans and stuff, you'll get a prize. Sometimes there's a random drawing. Sometimes they'll tell you what it is you're getting. So all that kind of stuff. So take time out of your day, even if it's just one day, and go do the quests, because you'll learn, and they're just kind of cool to, then walk up to the thing and you got an Astro, or maybe you'll win a giant Astro, right? Good luck getting that home on the plane. But I've seen people, I was actually working the booth at TDX, and I saw 2 or 3 of them get one that day, and it was just, they're huge. Not just
I don't even know how you get those on there.
I think you
gotta
just
check
tell
it.
people, yeah, it's like UPS is around the corner. You're gonna have to ship that home, right? Because you're not gonna get that. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Hang out in the developer forest. What else you got for us, Megan?
One thing to keep in mind is when you are, it's similar to the large Astros, but some of the other things that you can win, a lot of the vendors, they do keep in mind what is TSA friendly. But keep in mind that in the end is your responsibility to know what you can and cannot take on the plane with you. Yes. There are some items that are not carry-on safe that you can win. There are some items that you will have to put into a check bag or ship to yourself. And that's up to you to figure out. Don't just trust the vendors when you are there. They're coming with a bajillion of them, so they check them. They don't know whether or not you can, for sure put them onto a carry-on 100% every time. So one thing I know that became a hassle for some people were the kites. Trailhead DX. A lot of people came and I saw a bunch of people that were three at the airport because they were trying to take them in their check bag and they couldn't. Okay, not a lot of people. I said 2 people threw them away, but still,
it happened. If it happened to 2, it happened to 50.
It happened.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah. And then another thing, to take that time. You've got the whole quest thing, but take that time to go through the expo, especially if it's your first Dreamforce, and even if it's not, there are always new partners that are coming in. So make sure to take that lap through, even if you don't stop at every single station. One of my favorite things to do is, you're going to win me with the better swag, but you're going to get the best swag doing the quest versus just going to the expo. But that expo is something to see. That is an experience. There are people that have amazing things to give away. There's great stuff to learn. And, you probably have friends that are working a booth at some point in time throughout the day in there. Either somebody from Twitter, somebody from Slack, somebody from a podcast, somebody's going to be working on there. Do your loop, do a pass through, stop and say hi to people. It's a great opportunity to do that. Grab some cool sunglasses, always get a USB stick and a bunch of pens. And maybe a couple of t-shirts while you're at it.
Exactly. And you owe it to yourself if they have the same carpet every year, and I think they probably do because it's been there like 3 times. Walk on that damn carpet. That is like the coolest carpet. It's squishy and
the squishy.
I know it's the platinum vendors have the good ones, man.
Yeah, I know it's so silly to say, but like it is some cool stuff.
They had that in the lightning area a couple of years ago. It was really a pleasure because I was walking around the whole thing. I was working a booth. And I walked on that carpet, and it just felt so great just to get over there and get on something that wasn't just solid, like hard ground with a thin layer of carpet on top. Yeah.
So Mark pointed out that they had the puppies last year at Dreamforce. That was awesome, where you could go in and play with the puppies. Oh my gosh, they were so cute. If you didn't play with the puppies, go play with the puppies. It was in the place where the user group meeting was for the user group leaders. Oh. Totally worth it. Go play with puppies. Are they doing that this year?
I don't know. I know some people that almost went home with puppies last year, right?
I wanted to take a puppy home even before I got in there. Like, because Lauren was describing them to me, and I feeded him. Like, he only had 1 leg, and I needed to take him home to love him. Like.
Oh my!
So we have a question from our lovely Brian James. How does one sign up to do certs at Dreamforce? Certifications at Dreamforce. How do you sign up for that?
That's at the time, I believe, at the time of registration, right? When you register, you can go and sign up to say, I want to get my certifications, because those, well, I guess they don't always happen all before. Some get during too.
Yeah, you can do it at Dreamforce.com. Yeah, it's at Dreamforce.com when you go in. Same place where you can go back in there now. You can still add certifications.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. So try to get there early, Randy says, to get your cert teas because they run out by Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that's another good hint.
Yeah, the get certified teas go really fast, and I know that from working it at TDX when I was at the trading post, right? I mean, everybody was coming up for the certified teas, and they're like, I'm sorry, we're all out. And we hate to turn people away, but you know, when you don't have them, you don't have them. But
yeah. I want to say it was
so it's not because you don't love us.
it's definitely not because we don't love you. I love everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was there a couple of years back, like I said, I went up. I think it's the second day, and I just did a couple of the trailhead things, and I think they were out of I forget what they were out of, whatever size I wanted, like hoodie or something. And I was like, oh crud. But they luckily, my luck would have it that they found one as I was like walking away, and she was like, "Hey, come here! I have one more. I just found it." But that was like the second day, so I got super lucky. Don't bet on getting super lucky. But yeah, so they were out like the second day, and it wasn't even late. It was just whenever I had time on that second day before I was doing booth duty. I went over there and I was knocking them out, and it's like, no, sorry, we got cleaned out. Sorry.
They run out of spalls really fast too. They just don't order very many.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
So we're bumping up against the time window here. Yeah. I know, right? There's a lot to talk about for Dreamforce. So let's do this, right? We can wrap this up hopefully in the next 4 minutes. But real quick, where would one go to talk to you guys and ask you guys questions about Dreamforce? Maybe Twitter?
Yeah. Hit us up on Twitter.
So
there's a hashtag right now, maybe is it DF18 tips or something like that going around. Okay. I think the admins put out nice. I think they're collecting like everybody's favorite tips and stuff, so you'll find that there. But yeah, hit up anybody here on the podcast. We've got Megan. What's your Twitter handle? I never remember anymore.
Megan SF. That's MEIGHAN SF.
Megan SF. For me, Life with Ryan. You've got RJ at the infamous RJ.
The infamous RJ, that's right.
Brian lurking in the channel over there, US Brian 28, I believe. So yeah, follow us on Twitter or tweet at the system.debug account as well here on Twitter.
System.debug. So any last words from you guys? If somebody said, "Hey, tell me one thing real quick," what is it? What's the most important thing that you need to tell somebody about Dreamforce and Dreamforce 18?
I'm going to say hydrate. I always have a hard time finding water or enough water, etc. because, again, you're going to be walking, so take your little device because you're going to hit 25,000 steps. If you don't, then you're not reinforcing right.
Per day, right?
Per day.
Yeah. My tip would be to make sure to bring your business cards. So that I have forgotten mine. Somebody ended up writing my information down over and over. Because you're going to meet some great people and you're going to make some great friendships as well as connections. I'm taking vacation for Dreamforce. I just think it's a great opportunity to get out there and meet my friends, to make new friends, as well as, I'm working. I'm going to do some work stuff and I'll end up putting a little time in. But yeah, I'm taking PTO that way because it's just too much fun. Yeah. So, yeah, bring those business cards though. Don't have to carry around a pen and paper.
Yeah, I would say soak it up and soak in everything that you can and just network the heck out of that event, because that's really the takeaway, right? Is that I'm learning a lot of stuff, but I can do that afterwards. I can watch the videos afterwards. You can't necessarily go back and meet those same people afterwards. So any chance that you get to meet somebody new, figure out what they do. Ask questions. People love to talk about themselves. This is what we do on this podcast, or at least what I do on this podcast. Maybe not you guys so much, but people love to talk about themselves. Ask them questions. Ask them what they're up to, what they do, how they do it, how they got there, what kind of steps they took to get there. And especially if it's something you're interested in, if somebody's an admin, right? And you want to be an admin, you're an aspiring admin, talk to them about it, ask them questions. As long as you're not super annoying about it, if you just ask them like one big question and they don't have a lot of time, they might answer that question and then you're like, okay, cool, I'll talk to you later. But yeah, ask them questions. People love to talk about themselves and they will tell you how they got to the places that they got if you ask them nicely enough.
Yeah. Get out of your comfort zone.
Oh yeah, definitely get out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do it anyway in life. You might as well do it at the biggest software event in the world. As far as I know, is that still true?
I think
Second
that is.
biggest.
Oh no!
No.
CES is the biggest technology event.
No, that's tech. I'm talking about software.
Oh.
Specifically.
Oh, software. Oh, yeah. Well, Salesforce
Yeah.
is the biggest software.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
I told Spencer, he's my 5-year-old. He was in the chat, actually. I told him I would give him a shout out. So shout out to my little dude, Spencer. He was in here before the show, and Ryan was kind of waving at him. And
Hey, Spencer.
Behind me, but yeah, everyone.
Yeah. My favorite part was his feet like sticking up from nowhere behind your chair. That was like totally cool.
He was just like, and I was like, yeah. So I was like, hey, you gotta kind of not be in here while we're recording. And he was like, okay. And so this is his first time watching us live. So anyway, so it's 8:06. We went a little bit over, but I think it was well worth it. We got a lot of stuff covered in here. Again, if anyone has anything they want to talk about, anything they want to chat about, anything they want to hear in the next episode, any tips or tricks that they want, you can hit us all up at system.debug on Twitter again, at the infamous RJ on Twitter, at Life with Ryan on Twitter, at Megan SF, MEIGHAN, at USBrian28 on Twitter, and feel free, like we're open. We want to
like
talk.
and subscribe.
Yeah, do the things. We'll point down here to all the things. And we'll see you next time. Does anybody have any? What?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Something like that.
We do have a question real quick that I kind of want to address, but it's only because, I mean, even we at System.Debug have not yet talked about it, but our next episode would actually be the Monday before Dreamforce starts, I believe.
Ooh.
Yes.
And so the question remains, will we do a thing? Because, like, I probably won't be able. So I'm thinking maybe we should try to do some sort of live thing from Dreamforce somewhere. Pick a place. I don't know. So, yeah. I would like to try that if we could.
How about this?
So, yes.
Go to Twitter, everyone who wants to know about this. Go to Twitter and just hit that little follow button on @system.debug. And I will make sure that no matter who's doing this thing, we will tweet out our location, and you can come stop by and chat with us on the live stream, should we have one.
Yeah, I like that idea. Boom. There it is. You heard it here from RJ. And while he was
making promises.
He's got it.
Making promises.
While he was doing that, my phone fell asleep, but now I'm ready to go.
That's
so
fine.
I'm going to bump us
All right,
out.
you want to bump it?
All right.
Yeah, I'm bumping y'all.